I went to work dressed as Earthman today. I had to go home and change. I also wasn't wearing pants.
These two events may be unrelated. We don't know yet.
The jury's still out. It's that time again. Time for the all-new Culture Cast, which begins right now. Welcome back, everyone, to the all-new Culture Cast. I'm your host, Nick, and with me tonight is...
Cousin Charles, back from the grave.
It's been, I think the last time, speaking about the grave, I think the last time you were on here is when we talked about Blackula back on Halloween, so...
That's true.
Really are back from the grave.
It was the best movie ever made.
I don't know, we might have a close contender on tonight's topic, which is a new movie that's making the rounds that has left people very divisive, and some people have loved it, some people have hated it. It features people who realize they are in a movie, people who are absolute cartoon characters, and of course we're talking about tonight's Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Wait, no, I'm sorry. We're talking about... I should have had one more in there, and it's a resurgence of an 80s property.
Yeah.
Damn, I had one more I could have done.
It's okay, we'll fix it in post.
We'll fix it in post, yeah. No, we're talking about the recently released Roadhouse, starring Jake Gyllenhaal as Johnny Roadhouse and Conor McGregor as himself.
Well, that last part is true. I don't know much about the UFC, but I do know who Mr. McGregor is. And from everything, all the clips I see online, it pretty much matches up with who he is in this movie.
Yeah, asshole in real life, asshole in this movie.
Exactly.
Although I'd like to think he's not like a hitman out to like kill everyone. He just wants to just kill everyone because of funsies.
Yeah, he's a hedonist, I guess. I don't know a better way to describe it. He is living. I think I saw someone describe Conor McGregor's character as like a GTA character in real life. He's driving cars, crashing them, getting into fights wherever he goes, and takes no consequences whatsoever.
There is truth to that.
He doesn't even die.
There is a lot of truth to that.
Spoilers, he doesn't even die. He just respawns.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get to that, but I'm like, are they trying to like tease a sequel or a spin-off with this guy, or is it just like a silly thing they put in there at the end? Because like, not only does he like, like not die at the end despite being stabbed in the stomach, the side, the
jugular at least
neck,
twice.
Yeah. But he like he presumably attacks the hospital staff trying to save him.
Yes. And he's murdered several people, presumably the driver of the truck or whoever he hijacked to get to the Roadhouse, which is
at the end there.
At the end, yeah, because he gets up on the bridge. I'm assuming he just killed that
he went
guy.
Like stop. Yeah, I know you just saw him stop the car. I don't think you saw him what he did to him, but yeah,
I'm assuming.
You know what? Anything's possible. I think. Well,
yeah.
The famous Harrison Ford quote, "It ain't that kind of movie, kid." Definitely applies to this.
I truly believe. I had to look up the writers because I couldn't. I was like, "There's no way a screenwriter wrote this movie," and apparently there was not one. There was two. Technically, there are three, because they do give credit to the original writer of Roadhouse in 1989. But I think that just
original Roadhouse,
the Patrick Swayze.
Yeah,
Patrick. Which I've seen this. I've seen the Jake Gyllenhaal one now twice, which is 2 times too many, in my opinion. But I have watched. In between it, I have watched the original, and my God, The original Roadhouse like fucking shit William Shakespeare compared to this fucking drivel. Like holy shit, characters have arcs. There's motivation as threats escalate accordingly. It's like it's just basic storytelling, but it's like it's fucking like the greatest meal ever made versus just some shit thrown together and said, "Here you go."
I've
Uh,
not seen the original Roadhouse. I wanted to see original Roadhouse, but I just didn't get in time to it. I barely was able to watch this one before sitting down to record this podcast.
I,
So
I'm well. I'm sorry that if this is your only impression of the movie Roadhouse, Nick, I'm sorry.
I do want
Patrick
to go
Swayze.
back and watch the original one. But the real question is, how does it stack up to Roadhouse 2, the 2006 direct-to-video movie?
Uh, so that one I have actually not seen, but I'm just going to say because I fucking hate this movie. Spoilers: I hate this movie. I think this is like I hate this movie not because it's boring. I hate this movie because there are people out there who think this movie is legitimately good, and I don't know what they're seeing. Like I am so confused by that fact. I have not been this confused since I talked to somebody about Man of Steel back in 2013. I'm like, how? What are you seeing that I am not seeing? Like what?
You don't understand Jack Snyder's genius. It's the greatest movie. You just don't like. You just want Papa Superman. It's not like that anymore. He's not like Santa Claus. This is more realistic. Okay, you don't get it. You're too stupid to understand. I can't wait to watch Rebel Moon Part 2. It's gonna be so good.
Yeah, I got my bucket of paint ready, of lead-based paint ready for that one. Yeah,
Oh, we're gonna podcast on those when they're both out. We're gonna have a full-on
I see. I thought.
Rebel Moon episode.
Oh, God, I hope so. See, what I was waiting for is like I heard that there was a Snyder cut of Rebel Moon Part One. I legit heard somebody say that the Netflix version is not the Snyder cut. That there's another cut, and that was going to be released. I was like, that was like the R-rated cut. I thought, but maybe I was
Yes.
wrong.
No, you were right. There
Okay,
is Netflix is going to be releasing. I think they said it might be in August. I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me. A
why?
extended director's cut version of these two movies. But the perplexing thing is when they did like the Snyder cut or of Justice League and all that, that was a studio released movie with mandates and this and that. Rebel Moon is a completely quote unquote original property done by
Yeah,
Netflix, and Netflix let Zack Snyder do whatever he wanted. So there's no reason for there to be an extended version. Snyder could have released the extended version, unless it's a marketing scheme cooked up by Netflix executives and Zack Snyder to like get as much money out of this turd as he can.
I'm assuming so. This is like it's very much like when genuine lightning in the bottle happens in pop culture and
Mm-hmm.
people just want to recreate it. Like I think I remember after Barbenheimer, I remember like oh God, I think Paramount was trying to do the same thing because like the Paw Patrol and the Saw movie was going to release the same day.
Yeah,
But
like
that's
kind of like Saw Patrol or something like that.
yeah, but like that is some
That's
30-year-old something marketing exec be like, I got an idea. Like that's not
you're
some
being
full
generous.
time.
That's like some like 50-year-old marketing exec who's like out of touch with everything.
Yeah, and some interns just nodding along with them.
Um, but yeah, we'll say let's table man, every podcast cannot bring we can't go one episode without bringing up I think you should leave or
It's
Zack Snyder. We need to get away from that.
I I disagree wholeheartedly, but
You know,
should
last
we get
week last
yeah?
week I did a podcast with Gorehound and he casually brings up, "Have you ever seen the show I Think You Should Leave?" And I'm like, "Dude, this is what happens when you leave the podcast for like a year and a half."
buddy. Buddy, you gotta get back to you gotta get to our back catalog. You gotta get to the meat and potatoes. That's what this podcast is built on. Tim Robinson might as well be a producer at this point.
But anyway, going on to the Roadhouse. Now, I'm going to have full disclosure.
Full
Um,
disclosure.
I thoroughly enjoyed Roadhouse 2024, but let me put an asterisk on this.
Okay.
I understand it's not a good movie, but I'm not going to deny that I had fun watching it. And maybe it's like one of those, me bringing out the George Clooney Batman action figure isn't accident. It's not an accident. Like I know it's bad, but like it's so dumb. Parts 80s movie, literally an 80s movie being made in 2024. Like it knows exactly. Everyone understood the assignment.
Sir, I'm going to have to wholeheartedly disagree with you because an 80s movie is still following structure. It still has a script. This was a 2024 movie made in 2024 where we don't have writers who are writing dialogue. What we have is, and I'm almost positive this probably happened because I know this whole this went through a production hell over the last 10 years or so to get a Roadhouse reboot made. But I'm almost positive there were just scenes where they just told the actors, here's what's going to happen. Your character needs to tell this character that the Roadhouse is in trouble and just come up with the dialogue. Just have fun. I'm almost positive that happens because that's what everything feels like. They do that thing. They did this in Morbius too, where they get which is surprising that this movie's got a connection to Morbius, but here's what it is. They get an ex Daily Show host correspondent who hasn't really done anything since their time on the Daily Show, and they just go, say something funny. Just say something funny. Make the scene funny. In Morbius, it was, I can't remember his name, but he was the partner to Tyrese Gibson. And this one, it's Jessica Williams, who was on the Daily Show probably in the early 2010s. But it's the same thing. They do that annoying thing where they just go to a comedian, just go say something funny, make the scene funny by just ad-libbing something stupid.
Which one was Jessica Williams?
She was the.
She owned the Roadhouse.
The Roadhouse.
The Roadhouse.
Yeah, I don't know what sense of humor her fictional uncle had, but it was dog shit. I've seen this movie twice, and I forgot. I legitimately forgot when she's like, "Yeah, my uncle owns the houseboat at the marina." He had the same sense of humor. I'm like, was it going to be called The Boat? And sure enough, it's called The fucking Boat.
It's called The Boat.
I'm like, fuck. All right. Which is so dumb. Why? I guess that's kind of it's like they just couldn't come up with a good name. Like the Tiki Hut, the Glass Paradise, because I think it's called Glass Key. They couldn't come up with anything, so they just called it The Roadhouse. As if that's the most important part of the original.
What was the original movie? What do they call it in there?
The Double Deuce.
Oh.
Look, I remember stuff from the original Roadhouse because I genuinely enjoy that movie. And I think there's a couple of weird references to the original in this movie that aren't so much that are I don't know the best way to describe it, because I've got a lot of feelings about this movie, so I'm trying to compose them. But when they have it, and I think the second scene that they with Dalton and annoying bookstore girl, she does this thing where I feel like every writer, when they do something like this in a movie, wants to be like, pat me on the back by pointing out that their movie is a Western, or that the original was a Western. It's like, hey, you want me a smart writer? Don't fucking say it's a Western. Just make a Western. The audience is smart enough to pick up that your movie is a Western. Because the original Roadhouse is a Western. An outsider comes into town, cleans up the bad guys, and then sails off and then rides off to the sunset. Because that's what the plot is. And the audience can pick up on that. Saying like, oh, I think it's a mystery Western now. Like as if we're like, duh. Like, are we that fucking stupid? Is that how little you think of us as an audience? But she brings up that in the fictional book that I don't think the Prince of Persia gives a fuck about. Um, she says something like a place called the Double X, which I assume is supposed to be a reference to the fact that the bar in the first movie is called the Double Deuce. So that was a long-winded way of saying there's an obscure reference to the first movie. I guess.
So okay,
Sorry, I
before we
blacked
go
out there for a
further,
second.
let's go through the let's set up the plot. Let's what
Yeah.
happens in the story here?
Do you,
Do you want to do this, or do you want me to try to tackle the storyline?
uh, you know what? I'd like you to tell what
Okay.
happens in 2024 Roadhouse.
Okay, so we got Jake Gyllenhaal who plays Johnny Roadhouse. No,
Uh-huh.
Dalton doesn't matter.
Dalton.
Johnny Roadhouse. Um, he's a down as a luck UFC fighter because he killed someone in the ring,
Yeah.
perhaps,
Yes.
and he's just doing little he's scamming Post Malone, who's you know he's the biggest miscast in this movie is Post Malone, because we're supposed to believe he's this like underground bare knuckle fighter with like the worst dad bod imaginable, which I don't know if that was deliberate, like if that was a choice or the producers were like, whatever. Um, I would have been more amused if they got Logan Paul to like
Oh fuck.
be in that have him have that cameo. But uh, but I'm sure since the character was too scared to fight Jake Gyllenhaal and his like perfectly cut abs, um, they maybe he didn't want to be like looking like he would like run away from a fight. Anyway, and he's given this job to
Uh-huh.
stop a rowdiness at this Florida Keys roadhouse called the Roadhouse,
Uh-huh.
and uh, as he's doing it, he runs afoul of a local sort of criminal landowner who wants to buy the roadhouse and develop it for land, um, which their plan seems a little. No, they could do this for drugs. Oh, okay. He wants it for a good drug deal. Like that. Okay, pure criminal. But like he just wants to build land on it. Like he went to like the Lex Luthor School of Villainous Plans, I guess. And he his best option is to what do you call it? Send like roughnecks to like
Oh.
scare them out, even
Uh,
though he owns the police and he could like maybe have the building condemned or something. I don't know.
yes. He as I described in my notes, Scooby Doo villain of scaring away the locals,
But
which they've been apparently been doing for months with very little to no success, and
no
the place still
success.
is popular.
Right. So I mean, I'll admit there's holes. There's holes. I fully acknowledge, even though I was entertained by this, there's plenty of holes. But um because his roughnecks were beaten up by Jake Gyllenhaal,
Uh-huh.
he becomes enemy number one of this criminal,
Yes.
and because because that didn't work, the bad guy's father, who is in jail, sends Conor McGregor, who's
Uh-huh.
sort of like a wild card, to really trash the place, and hijinks ensue.
Yeah, that's I would say that's pretty close. I'd say that's a pretty accurate summary. You did forget that he does have a somehow he has a love interest in this movie.
Well, I figured it wasn't worth mentioning because the movie doesn't do much with it.
It's
He
very essential, especially in the third act where the fake kidnap turns out to be real kidnap plot that the chief of police is both in on and not in on at the same time.
right. Um. What? So like, I the
Where do
villain's
we begin?
plan is weak. The villain's plan is weak. Like, uh, he wants to help develop high rises. He has the cops in his pocket.
Yes.
Surely they could have come up with a better plan than to antagonize this bar, because clearly no one cares that this bar is being attacked by, with the exception of the owner, who naturally is annoyed by this.
Yes.
And but like, it's still popular every night. I mean, I don't.
They get multiple musical acts that come through that place.
And I love how the Conor McGregor scene, when he's like taking down the bar, the musical acts just continue to play. Even when the
They,
bar is empty, they're just still playing.
they are professionals and they get paid by the hour. That's the only explanation I got. Who I need to look it up because I know it's an actual famous musician in the original. Uh, hold on, good old Wikipedia to the rescue. But but like they have like three different. I don't know if these are actual musicians or if they're just like locals that they hired to perform. But it's like, you know, I wasn't the biggest. I'll be honest, not the biggest fan of the music. Oh, by the way, it was Jeff Healey. Jeff Healey is who was the musical act, the only band in the original Roadhouse that played, versus like three different rotating bands that come through this very popular Roadhouse, apparently, that also has
Yeah.
fights that break out constantly. Like I think during McGregor's big showdown or big first big fight, I'm pretty sure a bar patron just says bar fight and just punches the guy next to him.
Yeah.
Like I would love. I will say this: in real life, it's been low key my dream to actually be in a bar brawl like that, where like shit is going crazy. I don't know why. It's the same. It's the same sort of thing I have where I'm like, I would love to be in an earthquake, just to say I've done it, just say I've been a part of that. Maybe I like the danger, Nick. I don't know.
Well, you let me know how that goes.
Yeah,
So
but going back to the villain's plan, again, as I've emphasized, I've had to sit through this movie twice, and in both times, I cannot find the actual reason why they want the roadhouse. At first, I thought it was because it was like the only spot where there wasn't the reef, so they could ship in drugs.
hmm
But then the little girl says, no, there's reefs all around the island, so it doesn't matter where they go. But then there's a scene later on where I guess whatever bigger criminal organization that our bad guy is a part of, who by the way I'll call Discount Homelander from The Boys because he kind of reminds me of that actor.
Billy Magnesium or something like that.
Anthony Starr, I think, is the guy's name.
Oh, I meant in the Roadhouse. I meant in
Oh yeah,
Roadhouse.
Billy Magnesium. Yeah, that guy, that dude.
Who's
But
like, he was in like 100 things, playing like sort of like
the same sort of
background
angle.
villain.
Yeah, exactly. Now he gets his big time to shine, and he is probably one of the worst villains in Hollywood history. But no, going back to what the villain's plan actually is with the Roadhouse, because when Dalton jumps the one corrupt cop that's like transporting drug money, presumably, uh, I mean, that cop's on a boat, and that boat seems to be able to go to the shore and then go out to sea with no problem. So it's like, okay, it's not because of the reefs, even though they say that there's reefs all around the island. So what? Okay, so and then Jessica Williams says she's the last holdout, and you see in his supervillain yacht, he's got a like what I don't know what you call it, like when developers have like the scale model of their plan. They have
Mm-hmm.
the little teeny tiny roadhouse, and the background's like this huge like casino resort thing that's like 30 stories high, and somehow they don't have the funds to like buy out or like get the roadhouse condemned, which is
Right.
or why is it preventing them from building their casino resort? Like if they just built it, I mean, I feel like they would just drive out. They would just, I don't know, run the Roadhouse on business since it's just a shitty dive bar.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what doesn't make much sense. Is there's like so many other ways they could have done this. If the Roadhouse was that popular of a site, they could have like built around it or like made it part of like their resort.
Yeah.
Um, or if they had that much money, just offer Frankie like a shit ton worth of cash. But I guess she wouldn't want to take it. I
No,
don't know.
she wouldn't have taken the. I'll buy that. She wouldn't have taken the money, so I'm not going to go that cynical. But still, like they really don't give a reason why this Roadhouse is important, besides the fact that she's the last holdout and that Brandt has bought the rest of the community.
Well, what's perplexing to me is that why is Jake Gyllenhaal like become enemy number one because he beat up some thugs? Wouldn't like
Yes,
Frankie be the enemy because they need her?
they
Like
hired her.
if they drove Dalton out of town or killed him, that still wouldn't give him the bar.
Yeah, like I'm going back to my knowledge of the original. So in the original, instead of being set in the tropical Florida Keys, where I've spent a fair amount of time in the Caribbean. I've gone, there are a lot of bars everywhere. That whole like area of like the world, there's like a bar every like 20 feet. So bars are very common, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know what this Glass Key, what their situation is, but we do see Jake Gyllenhaal at one point at another restaurant where he flirts with a lady doctor, and there's clearly a bar there. So there's what I'm trying to get at is there's multiple watering holes on this island, right? And this is important. Going back to the original uh, Roadhouse, it's in a small town in good old Missouri. As someone who has visited many small towns in good old Missouri, there is maybe one or two good watering holes in a small town like Jasper, where the original Roadhouse is set. So it makes sense that people will just go to that one bar, no matter how shitty it is, because that's the only place to drink.
Mm-hmm.
And also, in the original, the owner is intimidated by the bad guy and his thugs because he doesn't want his business to get burned down. Because they very much make it clear if you don't work with us, we will burn down your business because that happens in the movie. Versus she's just like, fuck you guys, you messed up my roadhouse, fuck these people. I don't give a shit if their arm's broken in my parking lot or there's a loss. I think one of the guys even says, I'll sue you, which I don't know, which I guess is so weak mind is so like not very intimidating, but it's like too real world, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh
Well. Yeah. I maybe not intimidating, just kind of like I don't know.
she
He's reaching for straws at this point, or
yes. But and again, I know I'm not trying to make Patrick Swayze's Roadhouse the next Citizen Kane. I'm sure it's not in many circles, but the reason why the villains work in that movie is because the bad guy, he's just a bully. And actually, he's not a criminal. He is a vague. like developer, or he brings businesses to town. I think maybe he owns a mall, if I remember correctly from the original. But he's got money, and because he's got money, he's got power in this one small town. He just controls this one town, and because Dalton says no to him, that's why he's pissed off. He's not interrupting some bigger conspiracy. He's not stopping some grand plan. No, Dalton simply said, "Fuck you, Brad Wesley. You're not getting away with this." And that's what starts the rivalry. It is simple. It is perfect. There is no weird drug money. Daddy's in jail. We sent one round of thugs that got their ass kicked, and then the most confusing part. Do you remember this line in the movie? It's when Brant and Conor McGregor meet for the first time, and Brant's like, "Hey, I'm going to try doing this. I want one more stab at trying to take care of this Dalton guy because it's a quote unquote delicate situation." That's
No,
important.
it's not.
No, it's not. Because his way of solving this delicate situation is to pull up a clip from YouTube of where he kills one guy in the UFC fight, which everybody knows.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not like it's hidden. Like people can easily find that out.
yeah,
And it's not even something that Dalton's trying to hide.
yeah, he wears it on his sleeves basically. Um, so, and then literally right after he shows him the YouTube clip, he just tells Conor McGregor, uh, kick the shit out of him, and, and basically destroys the bar afterwards. Like the bar's in disrepair, which is even more hilarious as the movie goes on and what happens at the end. So the villains suck, except for Conor McGregor, which I really hope he pops up in more movies as the angry leprechaun that he is. Like, my God.
I don't know if Conor McGregor realized he was like, like you see a movie and the character realizes they're in a movie.
Mhm.
Like I don't know if Conor McGregor's character realizes he's in a movie, or Conor McGregor doesn't realize he's in a movie and he's just doing whatever the fuck he wants.
I, I, I'd like to believe the second half where they just said go nuts because he is absolutely delightful in this. He's got quips. He's got swagger. He's doing like the Giga Chad walk where just one shoulder flexes in front of the other like by like 90 degrees. Um, he shows up butt ass naked first scene. There's your that's where sex sells, people.
I was wondering, do you think that was his real butt, or do you think that it was uh,
A stunt butt.
stunt butt or computer imagery?
CG.
Because there was some of the butt looked a little, something was slightly off about it. I couldn't put my finger on it. Um, like it almost seemed, like when someone walks and they're wearing like either shorter, like a tighter shorts or something like that, and you
Yeah.
kind of see like the fabric sort of like wrinkle slightly before like stretching back out.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
kind of looked like that, so it got me wondering, like, is that real or is that like, I don't know. I don't know. It's a small point, but I was just kind of I don't know. It caught my eye, so to speak.
It's I will say this, I don't it didn't to me it didn't look that way. And I will say this, I'm not going to look it up because I choose to believe that they just said, Connor, you're for your introductory scene, you're jumping out of a window naked, strutting through town in Italy, and you're going to beat the shit out of somebody, steal his coat, and burn down a shop.
Like not the shop, the whole like market. It's
Yeah.
like the thing is, like the funny thing is like no one was chasing him. He didn't need to do any of that. He stole the
Nope.
guy's jacket. There's
Yep.
no reason for him to burn down anything.
Nope.
He's just an agent of chaos.
Which is fine, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it also brings into question the resources of these criminals. They somehow, because they say your dad's got spies everywhere, right? So that suggests a high intelligence network. Uh, Connor's in Italy, so that means he's got this. His dad's got connections around the globe, and somehow, with all these like connections and the size of the organization, they can't get rid of one bouncer from one roadhouse on one island. It beggars belief.
I I will say, like, nothing in this movie surprised me because, again, it's very cliched, and you and I are probably going to disagree, but I think it's cliched intentionally. I don't think it was. I don't think they were intentioning on breaking new ground or anything. But the one thing that surprised me was Conor McGregor just snapping Brandt's neck when he was hired by Brandt's dad. Unless the
Yeah,
dad just didn't give a shit about his son, it was like, kill him if you need to, which is
I,
entirely possible.
which that's fine. It just kind of I've got no problem with cliches. I enjoy cliches. The problem is I didn't feel cliches in this movie. I just felt like this movie meandered a lot and didn't really lead to anything fun for me.
I
Like
don't know.
it's
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about round one of the head boss of the first layer of villains, Dell.
Yeah.
So Dell is he shows up, does basically what Conor McGregor does later. Shows up and is just a fucking asshole right out of the gate.
Hmm.
He's like, "Yeah, now it's time to party," and he's like getting in people's faces. He's breaking pool cues. He gets the shit kicked out of him by Dalton. Ends up actually gets a concussion from him, which is kind of like that real world. Like, oh man, that's true. When you fight somebody, you do get concussions. Um, he then proceeds once he gets out of the hospital, takes his girlfriend's truck, tries and then proceeds to attempt to run Dalton down on the bridge. When running him down doesn't work, he then backs into the truck, which has a weird CGI where he's like flips into
He
the
like
back of the truck,
leaps into the back the
bed
trailer
of the truck.
or the
Yeah,
bed. Yeah.
and then so him and the girl bail. The truck, Dalton and the truck go into the ocean, but this guy must have some superpowers because he just knows that Dalton's not dead, then proceeds to go to his houseboat where he is hanging out, waits for him with a gun, somehow still doesn't kill him because Dalton just like I don't know, I think he's like doing small talk, like, what is this all about, guy? And then fights him. Then the greatest scene in the movie that actually made me go, "Oh my god, this movie may be actually something." Tosses you don't you think like, what are you gonna do now? Kill me? He's like, I'm not gonna kill you. Toss the gun in, and then a fucking crocodile shows up and eats this dude. And it's mentioned like I think in like two or three different scenes later on.
Hmm.
It's the same information. Crocs hide their food. They're not going to find that body. I'm like, we already knew that. Why are we reiterating this information? Are
Because
you
everyone
assuming?
they teach that in kindergarten.
I guess.
Well, that
Well, I
was the
guess
line in the movie. That's the line in the movie. Because
yeah, yeah,
the boat neighbor mentions it, and then when he's on the date with Ratcatcher,
yeah,
she
Ratcatcher too.
she mentioned it, and Jake Gyllenhaal's uh like do you guys like learn that in kindergarten because it does keep getting repeated, so they hang a lantern on it.
Yeah, which I don't know what the point of that is. Like, are we trying to? It's one of those things where I go like, wow, this writing's bad. If you're a good writer, are you just assuming that people are tuning in and out of your movie, like they're checking their phones? They're like, "Oh, crocodile happened. All right," and then go back to typing. Like that's the only explanation I could come up with.
I think they're trying to go for a and they could have done more with it, more of like a quirky sort of, like, this is a quirky town, so these are the things people know. But I feel they didn't lean too harder. They could have leaned harder into that.
I guess I'll be honest. If I lived in this on this island in the Florida Keys, I would hate it. Everybody seems mean. The hair like because the hairdresser's like, "Fuck you, bitch." He's like, and she's like, "I should have let your appendix burst." Fuck you, Frank. It's like, wow.
And
Like,
again, Jake Gyllenhaal comments on that. It's like everyone seems on edge around
yeah.
here.
I think I've skipped the elephant in the room. Let's talk about Jake Gyllenhaal. Let's talk about the Prince of Persia for a second. Nightcrawler, whatever other roles he's been in.
Mysterio, almost Spider-Man.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot he was Mysterio. When I think of the Patrick Swayze Dalton, I think of coolness personified. Like he is a he is where Mac get from It's Always Sunny gets the idea of the cooler. I told that to
Visual
Megan
pat
this
down.
morning, and yeah, I told that to Megan this morning, and she's like, no. I'm like, yes, that's where when Max says the word "I'm the cooler," he's quoting Roadhouse. But so, and I'm sorry, Jake Gyllenhaal, if you're listening to this podcast, you're not cool, man. He is very good at playing a psychopath, but he is not, because I think they were like, you need to play this cool and aloof, but it comes off more, to me at least, it felt like he was annoyed and bored. Like, I'm stuck in this cliched criminal bullshit. Like, uh, I don't know. I just felt like he was bored doing this, even though apparently he put on like the muscle mass to for like his one scene where he was in the UFC promo.
Well, I mean, there are several scenes, especially towards the end, where he uh was shirtless and he was like cut more than prime rib, but
Yeah,
it's a bad analogy. I don't know what I was doing there. But I don't I like Jake Gyllenhaal in this. I like how he was just like um this like I wouldn't say happy go lucky, but like positive and like tries to be nice even when he's like beating the shit out of you. Like I feel like it goes against a lot of the things at least I see in action movies where the hero has to be like, I'm edgy and dark and mysterious. And he is those things, but like he I don't know. It worked for me. Like how he was like, all right, is there a hospital? Okay, we gotta go here, here, and like he just like I just slaps the guys, and they're
yeah.
like, what the fuck? I
But
don't
then
know.
he, but then like, and I get that where you know that's what they're trying to go for. But then he goes for like serial killer psycho mode dark, like when he has his moment where he snaps, where like goon number 5, who's like was in a few background scenes, decides we're going to burn down this bookstore because we've seen him hang out at this bookstore 2 or 3 times. And then he just like, I guess goes fucking nuts because I guess that was his fear is like, I really like murdering because he kills that dude, lets him drown in
Hmm.
the pool, and then he puts him in a fucking cooler like a goddamn serial killer. Like, holy shit.
Well, he needed. Well, he had a plan. Like
Yeah,
that doesn't bother me because that is such a 80s action hero thing to do where they'll just kill some poor schlub who probably deserved it, but you know it whatever, um and then use their body to frame someone else like that's like I see that in like
yeah.
some 80s Schwarzenegger movie.
See, okay, I'm going to take your point there because going back to the
Damn
original,
straight you will.
yeah. So it's very much like I do agree with you that there because in the original Roadhouse, at the very end of the movie, the third act, after Swayze's been pushed too far, yes, he does go on a rampage and takes out all the bad guys with his. I don't think it's like karate; it's just bar fighting skills. So I will agree. Yes, he does go, but they take it instead of like the fun campy, like, aha, he just like ripped this guy's throat out. They take it very much like again more real world. Like, yeah, he's gonna have to drag that body into a car, put it on ice, so that way he can frame a dirty cop. Um, it's very much kind of like it's almost like it's too real, man. It's like it's less fun, like haha violence, and more like very dark and depressing kind of violence for me. for me at least.
I don't know.
And
It didn't bother me.
uh, I think it. I
To
think it
me, what
mainly
he
also.
did was just a Tuesday for me.
Uh, I understood that reference, but it was also a very stupid sequence of events because so he kills the guy, brings then goes to where the after the I forgot about one the only gangster that wasn't a main villain that I kind of enjoyed, the one who becomes kind of a simp for Dalton. Like he gets his arm
Yeah,
broken, he's like, "Hey Dalton, how's it going? How's it going, buddy?"
I was hoping he'd be in the movie more because he's great.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
I envision like him becoming like Dalton's unofficial sidekick or something.
that I thought they were kind of built into that. Like I could see him like going like, you know what, I'm working for you now, man. Um, but which I'm also pretty sure like that guy, that actor at least. I don't know if you ever watched the show Narcos, but I
I
think
haven't.
good,
I am aware of it, but I don't.
uh, solid. I will say it's a solid show. But anyhow, I'm pretty sure he plays one of the bad guys in like the last season of the main Narcos show, not Narcos Mexico or whatever the hell that is. But anyhow,
Narcos
and he's pretty
in
good in that.
space.
Yeah, but it's like I will say it was weird just because I was like in the only show I knew him from, he was a very serious bad guy in that, and here he's like more comedic, kind of like I'm not sure who he reminded me of, but it was like I don't know, I felt like he reminded me of like somebody, but I just couldn't put my finger on it. But anywho, where was I going? I kind of blacked out for a second again. This movie does that to me. So, going back to the the third act convolutedness. Kills a goon. The one gangster whose arm's broken by Dalton tells him that there's a big meet where they're going to be dropping off money that the cops are picking up. Frames a dirty cop that was just in the background of one other scene prior. Dalton then proceeds to knock that guy out, tie him up, take his gun, shoot the one henchman, and then he's like, as someone, I will say, it was so stupid. I did laugh. The where he's like, as someone who's a fighter, I know all about concussions and short-term memory loss. Grabs a log and fucking bashes the guy's head in, and then the next scene when
It didn't work.
didn't work at all because the chief of police, Big Dick, which I fucking hate that they a why did they have to make the guy's name Big Dick? Were they what do you think the writer's reasoning was? If you're the writer of Roadhouse 2024 and you have to give the chief of police a nickname, why are you going with Big Dick, Nick?
Big. Hey, I like that. That's gonna be my name, Big Dick Nick. Um, uh, I think there's a couple of things. One, they probably wanted something that sounded cool. Two, uh, Dick is of course slang for
Richard.
detective.
Is it really? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I guess it is. Yeah.
detective. So
Okay.
maybe that has something to do with it. Because I think did they establish that he was a cop before he became the chief of police, but he wasn't the chief of police when uh Billy Magnesium's father was around, was he?
They don't make it clear. I assumed he was, given the fact that he was so cool. He was like part of this criminal organization. So I just presumed that he was. That he's always been corrupt.
Well, yes, always corrupt, but like, was he like top dog cop, or was he just like mid level and worked his way up?
Um, from what I don't think so.
Look at your
Um,
notes.
yeah, I'm going back to my notes. Let's see. Dalton doesn't do shit. No philosophy. One of my notes I did have on here was no boobs. No boobs in this movie. 0 out
No,
of
no,
10.
there are.
Where are their boobs? Oh,
Yes.
McGregor's man boobs?
Well, besides that, when McGregor was at the very beginning, when McGregor jumped out the window, the lady
Yeah.
in the balcony was partially naked before she covered up.
There we go. I'm going back. I'm looking through this. Donaldson kidnapping, intimidating. Yeah, no, I just wrote big dick is what I wrote on here. So I don't have any notes about this guy's criminal history. I just assumed he's always been the chief of police and he's always been working for the criminals because, like, to keep other crime in check. I'll go with that. That's my head canon for this movie. But I mean, it, I'm giving it more thought than the movie actually does because he shows up. They, the cops take him in. He gets this intimidating speech about, like, he was like, "There's several ways this is going to go," and he only describes one way as we're going to arrest you, put you in the prison yard, lose your paperwork, and you're going to get shanked in the yard. And then I guess then the chief of police was about to, execution style an unarmed man in the middle of the marina. Thank God his daughter didn't show up, and she's just like, "Daddy is just so crazy these days." Like, dude, your dad almost just shot your boyfriend. Like, have a little bit more like, "Oh my God, my father's a horrible maniac working for a criminal enterprise."
Well, she did. Isn't that the reason why she moved away for a while and then eventually came back?
Yeah, that's not what it's like. I don't think they ever say why she came back. She does say that. She just but she still came back to the area because um but yeah, going back to the because then of course don't I completely forgot that I was talking about the third act ending. I got too focused on Big Dick. I couldn't think of anything else, Nick. Uh
Well, I mean, that's a common problem.
it is for men of a certain age. But so Dalton takes the drug money. Big Dick shows up and says, "Hey, they've kidnapped my daughter. You got to give that money back." And he's like, "Okay, but I hid it, so I'll be there in a little bit." And then the one character in this movie who does not deserve any crap at all and gets crapped on the entire movie. Do you want to guess who it is? Who do you think I'm talking about?
Is it the girl?
No, it's not the girl. The girl's the worst.
Who?
The girl's ex-boyfriend.
Oh,
He is the unsung hero of this entire movie, and here's why. Because he's the only one that calls other officers to go to the roadhouse after McGregor's rampage. They specifically
because
say
she called him.
yes because she called him. He's like, "I'm sending two squad cars over there right now." They specifically say later, like, the wrong cop showed up to the roadhouse.
So he was a clean cop.
He was a clean cop. He was doing right by the law. And what happens to him? His ex steals his boat multiple times. Then his ex's new boyfriend steals said boat, blows up said boat, and the only attitude he got is like, I guess there's going to be one pissed off policeman.
No, I think you referred to him as asshole cop too, even though the guy really wasn't
he
an
would.
asshole.
When,
Although
was that? When was he an asshole?
the
If he
the only
worked
thing you get is there's one thing where it's like, oh, I love it when I polish my boat. I love my boat more than anything else. So he seems like he's a little bit of a douchebag, I guess. But like at the same time, it's like he didn't do anything bad. He's just
as far as we know, he's not, in the pocket of a criminal organization like your dad, rat catcher. I don't know what that actress's name is. I feel bad, but she is like her and Jake Gyllenhaal had like no chemistry whatsoever. I'm sorry. Like, I feel bad because I really liked her in the Suicide Squad, but like
Mhm.
this was not the movie for her. You needed like, you know who you needed, and I'm only this may be the beer talking, and I think, and I'm trying to stay hip with the kids. Get Sydney Sweeney. Make Sydney Sweeney the lady doctor.
Mm,
It would have
I'm
made
fine with um I'm fine with Ratcatcher over
uh
Madam Web's
Julia.
protege.
Technically, you know who Sydney Sweeney was in Madam Web? She was Julia Carpenter's Spider Woman.
Yeah, I don't
So
care. Nobody saw that movie.
when it comes on Netflix, I will probably watch it.
Yeah,
That's
me too.
and I will probably laugh, and I will feel happy inside.
We need. I hope they go. It's Madam Web time.
Girls get it done. Um, but no, where were we at again? Oh yeah, asshole or the ex boyfriend cop. His boat gets blown up because that's Jake Gyllenhaal's big plan is to set off dynamite because apparently he knows explosives. Fine, whatever. But then also the weird double cross. Would that be a triple cross or
Ask Mac from Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
oh yeah.
Was it
Where,
a triple cross?
where are you a triple agent now?
Somehow
Like,
I'm older here than in Dial of Destiny.
oh god, that's true. Hey man, I guess those Illuminati bloodbaths must really keep you going.
It's the weed, man. It's the weed.
I guess so. Keeps you limber. Um, oh, that's true. I forgot about that. But yeah, because let's see. Big Dick tells Dalton, "You and I are on the same side." So that's the first double cross. Is that he's actually working the criminal. That's your first double cross right there, right? And then Brant turns against Big Dick, so that's another cross. So I guess that's a triple cross. But
Well, he's not crossed. There's lots of double crosses. I don't know. I love how Jake Gyllenhaal. Again, this is why I liked his performance because he's a guy who's like he gives a shit, but he doesn't give a shit, and he's
no,
just kind of like, "Woo, double cross, another one." Like he's not surprised by it. Like he's expecting it because I think he has everyone's number. That like all these people are shitheads. I don't trust anyone. Like I think Jake Gyllenhaal went to that meeting knowing that the daughter wasn't really kidnapped, or at least knowing
the chief of police was in on it.
that the chief of police was in on it.
Yeah, yeah. Again, when you see him there, it's not. Were they expecting us as the audience to be surprised? Like, what? The chief was in on it too? I mean, that only happened like 2 minutes ago, fella. But yeah, so I will say the boat chase and towards the end is probably the best. I will say that's where I get pure entertainment factor because it is just nuts what happens next. Because the
I love
ship goes
how
down.
Brant just gets flung like 100 feet in the air and somehow survives it.
Yes, that's what I said to Megan. Is like somehow he survived this. It is not horribly
He's a
mangled.
Palpatine. Somehow he survived.
Yeah. uh, I did enjoy where he's like he got the spear gun, tries to spear Jake Gyllenhaal. He's like fucking spear gun, man.
Even Joe Hall's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I do like that the way. God, that boat chase is probably the greatest scene in the movie because it is truly a cartoon. Because don't forget, we got Knox. Which did you notice this one detail on him? He's got his name tattooed 3 times right on his chest.
No.
Yeah, so you got Conor McGregor's actual tattoo. That's a real tattoo that he has.
Hmm.
But then underneath that, it's got Knox and Knox, and of course he wears the gold chain that says Knox, so you don't forget his name.
That's
Uh,
great.
it's fucking again best character in the movie, but he's on his own little speedboat. I guess being the wild card in all this.
Wild card, bitches.
Um, him and Jake Gyllenhaal get on his little raft boat. He's like, "Oh, looky here, we got our own little octagon." He's like,
Who taught you shapes?
"Yeah." So then they fight. And he gets knocked over with the anchor, and he's like holding on to the back of the speedboat, like again, like a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon. And then Jake Gyllenhaal crashes his boat into the boat that Brant and his lady friend are on, flips into it, uh, fights him, Brant, a little bit, and then of course, yeah, go back. Then we go to the again the final fight at the Roadhouse, where we have a boat that crashes through the back door that Brant survives, and then on top of that, he's crawling away like a little bitch. He's like, I'm done. I'm done. Ah! Like, come on, man. I don't know. Are we supposed to feel sorry at this point? Like, you've been like the weakest villain in cinema history. Like, at no point have I felt intimidated or like, even if you're like, oh, I really want to see this guy get punched in the face. It was just like, dude, just shut up. You suck.
I think that was kind of the point. I don't think he was meant to be an intimidating guy. That's why he surrounds himself with like big tough guys. He's just a whiny rich kid
Yeah.
who wants to get his way, so he's throwing temper tantrums. And he can't do the dirty work himself because he physically can't, so he
Yeah.
gets other people to do it for him. I think that's partly why Jake Gyllenhaal doesn't really isn't really scared by him.
No, nor should anyone. It's just like this is our big bad for the movie. Which I'll take a side note before we go back into the ending. I think he's got one of the stupidest villain introductions ever. He's like
Oh,
showing up
getting
in
the
like
shave.
the shave on the open seas with like he's got the kimono and the whiskey. Like this is somebody's idea of cool. But he's like, I personally think like this is fucking stupid. He's like, just, you can shave me. Come on, it's all fine. Like, why? It just I keep asking myself why. What is the point of this?
Going back to It's Always Sunny, like he's like a mix of like kind of like Dennis in that
Yeah,
regard, where he thinks he's big shit and he gets a tough dude, but he's clueless to the fact that he isn't, and
yeah,
that when things go wrong, it's other people's issues, not his.
yes,
Like, like the guy, like the shaver's like, we can wait to do this. He's like, no, it's fine. Like, all right, this is gonna
yeah,
go so bad for you.
yeah. It's just like, dude, like, yeah. That was just. I was like, oh, this is how we're introducing our big villain of the story. He is deciding he wants to get he wants to get shaved with a straight razor in the middle of the ocean on high seas on a fucking catamaran because he can, I guess. So, oh, and of course he blames everything on the captain for not keeping the boat steady. That's how
Yes.
that scene caps out, which is just like, okay, so you're an asshole. You're both incompetent and an asshole. But the fact that I think it would have been hilarious if he had gotten killed right then and there in his introduction, like, and everyone's just like, well, what the fuck do we do now?
Well, that could have been no. That's an idea for another movie. Like who we think the big bad is. He's like
It,
this same exact sort of white collar, prissy,
yeah,
kind of like daddy's money. Dies immediately, and then one of his Conor McGregor, who's his head thug, is like, "I'm in charge now," and he doesn't know what he's doing, but he's such an intimidating force. He's just going to see it through, even though he's fucking up, and he just doesn't give a shit.
you know what? That would have been so much better. That would have been so much better. It would have just been. It makes sense. McGregor's not intimidating, but he is damn entertaining. Because going back, okay, now rewinding back to our ending. So after the boat crashes through the back of the roadhouse, Conor McGregor then shows up and crashes through the front of said roadhouse in a truck, Which I will say, I thought at first he had killed Branch because I thought the truck hit him, but we do find out that he wasn't killed in that truck accident, but is then killed by McGregor later on when Jake Gyllenhaal needs a break in order to get the upper hand. Um, because then it just turns into a straight up UFC fight. Like literally, they're
Yeah.
in like I don't know if it's a uniform technically, but they're in the shorts. They're in the they're being the piss out of each other. Again, they got the quips going on like this piano. I think this piano's out of tune when he's bashing his head in. And the
Right.
car's like, this piano sounds good to me, laddie. um, they do incorporate. There's a few lines from the original that are incorporated in the movie as awkwardly as possible, and during that big fight is one of them. Like Patrick Swayze's philosophy as a John Taffer bouncer type was always be nice. You know, if someone's not being nice, ask them to walk, but be nice about it. Take them outside. Be nice until it's time to not be nice. Like that was his whole philosophy in like the first movie. They awkwardly ADR it in, like as if some studio person said, "Why is he saying the words be nice?" That was like the big thing from the first movie. Why is he not saying it? So they had Jake Gyllenhaal or Conor McGregor. I can't remember which one said it, but they just did a quick ADR as one of them's getting thrown into the piano, which I was like, oh, well, there's a callback. And then of course, yeah, McGregor gets stabbed several times by a knife, by like two different knives and like a piece
Well,
of a broken
was
chair.
it a knife or was it just like random stuff they had on the ground?
I'm pretty sure it was a knife. One was a knife, like a steak knife, and the other one was like a piece of a broken wooden chair.
Okay.
He gets stabbed like 5 or 6 times. Again, and canonically does not die. He's still alive at the end. Somehow did not bleed out in the time it took for paramedics to show up.
I'm
Uh,
surprised the cop didn't like finish him off.
that would make too much damn sense, Nick. Uh, and oh yeah, that goes back to it. So his lady friend sees him as I guess a monster or something like that, or she's like, "You have to go, Dalton." And the cops, and again, Big Dick is just cool with letting Dalton go. He's like, "Go, I got this covered." And the greatest part of this whole movie is somehow the bar is destroyed. Like there is a truck that every piece of furniture in this place is broken because it got trashed like 2 or 3 nights previously as
Mhm.
well. And somehow the scene that made me laugh out loud, two guys show up. There's a truck in the front entranceway, like, hey, you guys open? What the fuck? Like,
This
buddy,
town has an alcohol problem.
I guess so. Like, I guess they were trying to make it like the towns come together, but it's just so fucking weird. Like, hey, you guys, can I have a drink? Like, yeah, all of our glasses are broken, but I guess you could like pick around the shards. And then yeah, Dalton gets on a Greyhound. He looks at the tree that gets mentioned a couple times that the bookstore lady talks about.
Mm.
And then
Fred. Fred the tree.
read the tree, which is God. All of the can I just say the bookstore scenes were cringy. And I read that this script went through several drafts, and I feel like the father and daughter bookstores was like from one draft, and they just could not get rid of it because they wanted to keep up like a feature length runtime.
They want to have Dalton to have like some emotional connection to something, like unintentional victims of his of him being there.
Yeah, which because I guess he didn't make friends. I guess the one lady waitress who like brought him like breakfast burritos. I guess that was he was motivated by the fact that she's probably traumatized from all of the violence that's happened over the last couple months. Didn't care about Jessica Williams losing her family's bar. But those bookstore people, that was the heart of the town, man. This town that we only see one truck stop with like the bookstore, liquor store, and like something else, the roadhouse, and then a hospital that's in the 25 on the mainland. I'm assuming. Yeah, that's it. That's the emotional arc. This movie was so fucking dumb.
I
Nick,
want to
I'm
talk about some positives here.
okay.
I appreciated the camera work throughout the entire movie. There are a lot of wonderful, and I know they probably hid the seams, but like I am a big sucker for one shot takes
Yeah,
where it's like just one continuous take and with no seeming cuts, even though they probably did, they hit them
yeah,
in there, they have to. Um, I liked how the framing was in a lot of the fight sequences. Like I think it started out, and they did it again later on, where it was like a point of view
yeah.
of like the fighters, and then it like panned out that way. Um, a lot of fantastic camera work during the all the different fight scenes, especially the one at the end. Like they understood what the assignment was, and they wanted to make this some of these fight sequences as fun as possible. And that's kind of what sells the movie because it is a visual delight to watch, in my opinion.
I some of the I will say this. A few of the when they go from first person to like wider shot, I did appreciate. I liked it in the opening underground fight ring. Surprisingly, I am probably going to defend the Post Malone stuff because I thought that was actually fun because it's like, hey, Post Malone. Um, I think the fighting was good in my opinion. I didn't think it really did anything. It didn't do anything great for me, or it didn't really like.
No, I agree. There's nothing revolutionary about it. And
No,
they actually, for a lot of the punches, they
yeah,
like panned away. I don't know if you noticed this. The camera work was frantic,
yeah,
and like when Jake Gyllenhaal or Conor or whoever would like throw a punch, you would never actually see it land.
no.
Um,
I did notice that too. Which,
Now, I've heard some things that there's like CGI involved with the fighting, and I don't know in what capacity, and I don't care enough to like look it up. But I don't know. I think they did a good job of making it frantic and making it showing the threat of the fights without like they could have
yeah,
done another way. They could that we luckily Hollywood has moved away from the um, Batman Begins, Jason Bourne quick cutting.
it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, because Mr. Lyman, Doug Lyman, directed the first Born Identity.
Yep, which didn't have that. It wasn't until the second one that really introduced that
Really?
concept.
I'll have to go back and watch those movies. But okay,
Not that they didn't have some quick cutting in the first one. I mean, it was,
yeah,
but like it's a the first movie has a very different feel to it than number two and number three.
yeah. Because I know the director of the second two. I think he was like a documentary filmmaker or something like that, and I think that influenced like some of the styling. But
And then it ruined a generation of action films.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I will say this: I've never been like the I've never really hated shaky cam or something like that. Like I think when it's done well, I think here
Sure.
it was implemented okay. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but it wasn't like it didn't like take me out of it. I appreciated that. Again, it did feel very frantic, like you're in the middle of the bar fight. So I did it. I did enjoy it. Um, again, the fights with Conor McGregor are great because again, he is a cartoon supervillain, taunting, having quips, taking out a golf club, be like, I love going clubbing. Like, that's great.
I love how when he entered the club, he like starts smashing tables and he goes
Yeah.
to some random woman's like, "Let's dance," and she's like, "Okay." Clearly, this guy's a dangerous guy that you want nothing to do with. And it's
Yeah.
not like she said "okay" out of fear. She like genuinely wanted to
Yeah,
dance
and
with
I
him.
think even her boyfriend's like, "Hey, man, that's my date," and he just knocks him out.
I don't think he
Or
punched him. I think he
he
just
did.
ignored him. I don't remember him punching him.
Well, maybe
I,
I just thought he punched him because Conor McGregor in this movie is a Chad alpha male.
he
Um, I
has a
love the.
YouTube channel complaining about uh, woke females in action movies.
I think that's just actually. I think that's just actual Conor McGregor.
That could be.
Also, another thing I didn't get a chance to mention before. Can we talk about Conor McGregor's veneers? Like, my God, those are some shiny fucking teeth. I did have to look it up. Yes, those are false teeth because I was like, how does a UFC fighter have all those pearly whites and they're so even and straight? Googled it. Yeah, he's got falsies. Those are said dentures, man.
I mean, why not?
I mean,
He
we
could
got the
afford it.
money. Yeah, got the money. And I will say the fact that in every scene he's just smiling, he's just having a good time. I love his second introduction that he drives down the road where like he's in a student driver car. And
Yeah.
it's not it's not even cans of beer that's in the side. It's those fucking like big ass coconut drinks that you get at like the tiki lounge. And like how is he like and he has them in the side like as if he's chugged them. How does he transport all these coconuts that he's without them like sloshing around? He's just smiling, crashing into everything. Again, we also got a pretty wonderful meme clip or green screen meme of where he like shows up at the bad guy's headquarters. He's like, "Where the fuck is everyone?" I've seen that used in so many different like TikToks and stuff. And it's
Has it?
great. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you said that he was he's like a GTA character brought to life, that's like so accurate. Like especially because he's just in random cars that he clearly stole. He doesn't give a
Yes.
shit.
Yes. It's absolutely it's probably the best. It really is the best part of the movie because well, I think a lot of the acting is like again, I feel like it's that weird thing where there's like just improv a scene. Conor McGregor has lines that he studied. When Knox is on the job, mate, he's already dead. That's great. I love it. Just get like I just want Conor McGregor to be in more movies now. Just put him in more shitty action movies. That's all I want. The guy can't be in the UFC forever. Just put him in a bunch of direct to DVD. Be like, put him in the reboot the Leprechaun or the Leprechaun movies. Warwick Davis, I don't think doesn't want to do it anymore. Get Conor McGregor in there. Tell me you
You
wouldn't
know,
watch that.
I learned something interesting about Warwick Davis today. For one, I heard that his wife just recently passed, so that's
Oh,
sad.
R.I.P.
But I thought he was like way older than he actually is. He's only in his 50s. He was like
Really?
something like that, late 50s. He was like 18 when Willow came out.
Really?
Yeah, because he was born in 1970 and Willow came out in 1988. And like I read that and I was literally staring at my computer for a good minute and a half processing that because he
Oh,
seemed like he's older than that in Willow, but I
yeah,
guess not.
I thought he was like late 20s, maybe early 30s. I didn't think he was 18. I didn't think he was 18. Then how old was he when he was Wicket? From
I think like 11 or 12. He was a kid.
shit, really?
Yeah, I actually read about that. He was they saw that there was a casting call for like little people for Return of the Jedi, and he was a big Star Wars fan, so it was like parents or grandparents or whoever took him to the casting call. He got cast, and I guess he developed a rapport with Mark Hamill, and Mark Hamill bought him like all these Star Wars figures that he didn't have yet.
Oh my god, good old Mark. I will say this: if I had a list of people that I wish to reincarnate as, uh, Mark Hamill and Post Malone, those would be two people I'd love to live their lives. You know what I mean? Like I feel like, what does Mark Hamill do on a bad like? What's a bad day for Mark Hamill? I can't think of it. Can you? I guess maybe
Um,
I guess reading the script for the Last Jedi.
Hey, The Last Jedi gave him more to work with
I,
than any of the other Star Wars movies allowed him to do.
I, I'll joke. I will say I kind of I'm a bit of a hypocrite because I'm one of the few defenders of the Last Jedi.
I'll defend The Last. It's not great, but like I liked what they did with Luke in that movie. It made sense.
I don't know if I've shared this with you before, and this is a side tangent, but when I left the theater after watching the Last Jedi, I was genuinely excited to see what was going to happen next in Star Wars.
And
Like
just
I'm
think, 2 years later, your excitement was crushed.
absolutely devastated because they did a 360 backpedaling on like anything remotely coming to changing up the formula of where we're going with this shit. Nope. Which you can listen to in the all new Culturecast episode on The Last Jedi. Click or no on Rise of
Rise
Skywalker.
of
Click
Skywalker.
here.
Well, both. We did an episode on each. Although you weren't on the Last Jedi one, you
I was
jerk.
not. I was not.
Um.
Maybe when Disney sells Star Wars again, we'll talk about it.
Oh, you
The
can.
20,
Disney's not going to sell anything.
but don't you know Disney hasn't made any money off of Star Wars ever since they bought Lucasfilm? That's
Actually,
whatever.
yes, they have. They've made a lot of money off of Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't know where these like people are like hating or getting these statistics from. Like, what are you talking about? Didn't these movies make like more money than God?
Like
Like,
maybe they could have made more, but like they made well over $1 billion each.
there was a
Um,
few there's a few shekels they did not capture during the, but
the streaming shows have been more or less pretty successful. People love The Mandalorian,
love it.
and off The Mandalorian, people like tuned into Boba Fett, and although I guess
Look,
people didn't like that one, and
look, I
I don't.
sat through Boba Fett because of my love for the Mandalorian. So, did we ever talk about the book of Boba Fett?
I don't know. I never watched it. I haven't watched any of those Star Wars shows.
You
I
know
ain't
what?
got time for that.
Just here's what you do: you trick your kids into watching it, and you say, "The girls really want to watch this, so I got to
But
sit
here's the
down."
thing. I don't want to watch it.
Okay, then never mind. Then I was gonna
Like
say you're fine for the first two seasons. Then after that, just pretend the show got canceled after that.
because you're a huge Gina Canaro fan and you boycott the show.
That's right. That's right. Um, you know my weakness. Um, Speaking of things that should get boycott, Roadhouse 2024. I never want to watch this movie again. This for me, I enjoy it. It's so bad it's good movie. I love Morbius. Morbius is so
Morbin
dumb.
time.
Yeah, it's so dumb, but I enjoy how dumb it is. This movie was more boring than anything else, and even the few scenes that were so wild, I enjoyed how random they were, like the crocodile attack that's halfway through Conor McGregor, uh, and yeah, the crocodile attack and Conor McGregor and Post Malone, I guess. Even those few things of randomness wasn't enough for me.
Can I give a suggestion with
What's
see
that?
if you'd like this?
Yeah.
They mentioned the crocodile, and I
Uh-huh.
thought they brought the crocodile in too early. I thought for sure, oh, Chekhov's gun, or in this case, Chekhov's crocodile. They're
Yeah.
going to set up now. It's going to pay off in the third act, and I bet Conor McGregor, because he's too tough to be beaten by Jake Gyllenhaal, Conor McGregor's going to get eaten by the crocodile.
That would have been amazing. Absolutely amazing. Instead, it's
And then
wasted.
the post-credit scene would be Conor McGregor um, walking out of the ocean
Yeah.
just perfectly fine,
Crocodile
like
by him.
carrying the croc.
Oh my god. Hey Chubbs, remember that gator that got your hand? Well, I got his head. Um.
Now, would the
Oh man.
movie have been better for you
Uh,
if they went, it's Roadhouse time?
yes. It absolutely. If I think there need to be more. I think they need to lean in more into the Family Guy meme. I think Jake Gyllenhaal should have done more roundhouse kicks, and there were, as far as I remember, there were no roundhouse kicks in this movie.
No, I was a little disappointed by that too. But Maybe because do UFC fighters do roundhouse kicks? Is that
I
a
don't know if
thing that they do?
they do. They do kick. They do
Like
kick,
when you
but
were in the UFC, did you do a lot of those roundhouse kicks?
uh, I did kind of like a Street Fighter thing where I like did a helicopter in the air.
Oh, right, that
Uh,
was your signature move, wasn't it?
yeah, so that's what I did. Um, Funny enough, I alluded to this earlier that the idea of doing a Roadhouse reboot remake has been in production hell since like almost for a decade. Did you know at one point they actually had attached another UFC megastar uh, to be to play the role of Dalton? You want to guess who that was?
I don't know who the UFC stars are other than you, so
Okay,
please enlighten me.
I know nothing about the UFC besides what's in popular media. So, but it was Miss Ronda Rousey back when she was at the top of her game.
Okay.
Was they had
I
cast her to play Dalton, a lady
I
Dalton.
I could see that. I think I don't mind Ronda Rousey. The few things I've seen her in, I think she's not half bad for the type of roles she typically does. That'd be interesting. Probably good they didn't go that route because you'd get the usual gang of idiots complaining about certain things.
Absolutely, absolutely yes. So I'm kind of I share your same sentiment. Yeah, I cannot speak because I agree. I think it could have been interesting, but from what I've seen of her acting range, it's not bad, but it's not great.
And for a movie like
And
this, you don't need Robert De Niro or,
no, no, like okay, here's another thing I'll bring up from the original. I don't know if Patrick Swayze is necessarily a great actor. I know it's going to sound sacrilege, but you know what he has? He's got a lot of charisma.
oh yeah.
Dan is just cool. And you know who his mentor was? Sam Elliott, who's even cooler.
Oh, in the original Roadhouse.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah,
young
yeah.
Sam Elliott, which is real fucking weird because you always think like he's just been old his entire life. But no,
Right.
Sam Elliott was young at one point.
With the last couple weeks, I saw a clip from the original Roadhouse, and Sam Elliott is in there. I'm watching, like, he looks familiar. I'm like, holy shit, that's Sam Elliott, because he doesn't have like his trademark huge mustache, right?
No, it's a
It's
more of a stubble. It's more of just a general stubble he's got over his face and
right,
long hippie hair.
right. So it doesn't he doesn't look like how we today know him as.
Yes, but he sounds like Sam Elliott, and is just
Hmm.
and I don't know about you, but I take comfort in that.
I understand that reference, Captain
Yeah.
America meme.
um, no, but I did say this to Megan after the movie. I was like, you know what they should have cast, and I know this actor is probably way too good to be in a Roadhouse remake.
Richard Roundtree,
No, that would have been it. That actually Richard
Carl
Roundtree.
Weathers,
Are we
O.J.
talking Richard?
Simpson.
Ooh, I was about to say something really bad. Um, but no, my legit pick was actually like an Austin Butler type. But like
Okay.
he's in Oscar-winning movies. I'm sure this is probably if someone said, "Hey, do you want to be in Roadhouse, a Roadhouse remake?" I'm sure he's like, "This is fucking beneath me. I don't care how many zeros on that check. I'm not doing it. I'm in Dune. I'm Elvis. My voice got changed forever."
I could
But you
see a
know,
Ryan Gosling doing this kind of movie.
yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Ryan Gosling as an adult,
Yeah.
absolutely. I would have. That would have been fantastic. You just need someone who's cool. I don't think Jake Gyllenhaal's cool. I think he plays weirdos really well and bad guys really well. I don't think he's meant to be your action movie hero.
You know, if I invited Gorehound to be on this podcast because he wanted to watch Roadhouse, but he unfortunately couldn't make it tonight.
Uh,
He would be fighting you right now because he's a big Jakey G
well,
fan.
well, I'm calling Gorehound out. I think Jake Gyllenhaal sucks. And you can clip that and you can text him, email him, send him a carrier pigeon with that message. I
All right,
think Jake Gyllenhaal sucks donkey balls.
all right. I'm going to record you saying that. Say that again.
Jake Gyllenhaal sucks. I think he's terrible. Absolutely the worst.
All right, I'm going to send that to him here. Before long. Hopefully, my video can do it, and then I will follow up with you on what his response is. Probably won't
Please
be
do.
until tomorrow, but
Please do. I'm willing to fight him for over this. I watched the movie Nightcrawler. Turns out has nothing to do with the X-Men. I was very disappointed.
all right, sent. We'll see. We'll next week when we finally talk about Twilight, we'll have the follow up to
We'll continue.
Gorehound's reaction.
We'll continue this background story lore that's happening.
Yeah, our reoccurring bit for 2024, the Jake Gyllenhaal wars.
Oh
And
my
maybe
god.
it'll crescendo with Jake Gyllenhaal being on the podcast.
Oh, I was thinking more like a Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, kind of like would just be in the gore.
It'll be no. It's gonna be more like a Rocky Balboa, Apollo Creed, Rocky 3 fight where you're just like in the basement going ding ding, and like it'll like pause right before you hit one another.
Man, that's classy. I'm thinking Rocky 5. It's gonna be a street brawl. I'm gonna be dying. I'm gonna be dying of AIDS. Like, let's go, Rocky.
With
You and me.
Tommy Gunn.
I think so. I do not remember. That's a deep cut for all you kids out there. There was
Even
actually
Stallone's like, there was no Rocky 5. There was barely a Rocky 4. I recut it.
Rocky 4 works because the Cold War. Let's just put it this way. I would say
Sylvester Stallone won the Cold War for us.
Yes. Also, the Cold War gave some great movies, man.
It's true.
Modern day Cold War, not so much. More terrifying than it is fun.
All right.
All right. So, final verdict.
I liked Roadhouse. It's not great, but if you just want like a dumb action movie to like smile and entertain you for like 2 hours, you can't do any worse.
I'm gonna say, please, if you have 2 hours of your life, go outside, touch grass, watch the birds. There are a million other things you can do besides watching Roadhouse 2024. Look at the eclipse directly, or watch Roadhouse. Actually, I prefer you to go back in time, watch the eclipse directly with no glasses, then watch Roadhouse 2024. Just Google the Conor McGregor scenes, and that'll probably be, that's all you need. That's all this movie has contributed to our greater society. Is Conor McGregor is an absolute delight in this movie. So, but otherwise, dear God, do not watch it. I wish to God I could understand what people get out of this movie, because I could not get it. I really, really do. I've seen it every time I go into Prime. I see it in the top 10 since its release, and I'm so confused as to why. This movie just is. It exists. I wish it didn't. Go watch the original, because it is vastly superior. It is a vastly superior movie, and it does it in less time. So you'll get an extra half hour of your life back. So that's Cousin Charles's verdict.
Alrighty. Well, I guess it's going to do it for us then. Thank you everyone for listening. Cuz, thanks for being here. And something else. I don't know. Check us out next time when we talk Twilight. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye. You've been listening to the all-new Culture Cast. Follow us on X. Drop us a line at nick.culturecast@gmail.com. We can't promise we'll read it. Theme music by Dana Vodovaz. Check out their work on YouTube at Vodovaz Music Productions. This has been a Saltwater production. Thanks for listening.
I went to go use the grill, and as I laid the chicken out on there, I started cooking. I started noticing all this yellow, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's
You
pollen!"
seasoned you seasoned it with pollen.
I was like, "This shit's everywhere! It's everywhere!" I don't know if you ever saw the show Chernobyl, but I felt like I was in the middle of the reactor, just like, "Oh my god, the core's around me! I'm a dead man walking."